Hare Ram, Hare. It's a simple type C connector is there. Okay, not here. It's here. It's here. Let's see if this works. Abhirama guna Dashrathe Jagadek dhanu Veeramate Raghunayakara Ramesha Vibho.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram.
Okay, good. That's okay, no problem. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let us all welcome His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu with three loud and enthusiastic. So Prabhuji last left us after killing Duryodhan. after the 18 days, those 18 days, and we have been eagerly waiting. So some of you who don't know Prabhuji, I think many of you know, you are at the right place, fortunately for the right reason, and you're going to hear the best lecture of your life. So let us eagerly hear this. Thank you. Yeah, I think should we move? It's facing it, coming on your face.
Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, you might even do that. Just push it. Yeah. Prabhu, he can push it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's not damage. Fully done?
Yeah, I think we are.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Almost.
That is coming in now.
Yeah. It doesn't hit your face.
Okay, fine. This might be better.
Can you want to connect it? So we know it's working.
I think it was connected. It was connected.
HDMI.
It was there. What happened?
You saw the graph?
Yeah, I think something else. Yeah.
Came up now and you put it off. Only touch that.
Disconnected from Outix on display. Can you see that I have another adapter over here? Either one of these two. No, in this one or this one? Lower one. Okay, it's saying disconnected.
So while Prabhuji connects it, and so this is going to be, we're going to have
Yeah, let's try this.
two series this time. One series in the morning, one series in the evening. So the morning series is about Prabhupada's prayers, which I don't want any of you to miss. Best ability, you can please come. It's going to happen in Bhakti Center from 8 o'clock to 9:30 every day. Right? So not every day, Saturday and Sunday it's not there, but Thursday and Friday it's there, and then Monday and Tuesday. And in the evening, Prabhuji is going to do a series on Ramayana. I already sent the poster. So it's about 2 brothers, 3 brothers and 4 brothers. So today is going to start with the 2 brothers, which is Prabhuji will take it over from here. Thank you.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear Lord, please guide us all so that we can understand the truths of life and learn to live accordingly, so that we can come closer to you, the ultimate truth. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for coming today on a weekday evening. So, am I audible to everyone? Yes. Okay. So, I'll be taking the Ramayana and I'll be analyzing it from one framework which we will look at in all the sessions. And that framework is that our life is always a combination of... Oh, it's gone?
Suddenly switched off?
Somebody press the flag.
Okay, no problem. I'll just continue. When it comes back, let me know. So basically, life is a combination of choice and chance. Everything that happens in our life, it's a combination of choice and chance. So what do I mean by choice and chance? Broadly, I'm using this word in particular ways. Choice refers to something that we did and maybe we could have done differently. And chance refers to something which is beyond our control. Now, we may go at a philosophical level and say it's not chance, it's our own past karma. And if you go to a devotional level, you may say it's Krishna's plan. And all that is true. But at our level of functioning and experience, we don't know when our past karma is going to come or what aspect of what karma is coming now. We don't know what Krishna's plan is exactly. So, and why Krishna is doing a particular thing in his plan. So in that sense, we can say everything that happens in our life is a combination of choice and chance. So when this happens like this, choice and chance. So my tablet not working properly, that is chance. But it doesn't work in the class and I forget about it and remember it only the next time when the class comes. And I face the problem each time, then that is a choice, isn't it? So that choice and chance is a dynamic that works everywhere in our life. So today morning I missed the flight. I was supposed to come earlier. Now the devotee who was supposed to drive me, he said, "You can start at 10 o'clock." I said, "No, I want to start at 9 o'clock." And we negotiated as decided to start at 9:30. But because there was there's a political accident and there's a lot of crowd because of that at the airport, various reasons. So I missed that flight. So now maybe I should not have negotiated. I should have started at 9. But say not waiting till 10, that was my choice. Letting wait till 9:30 was my choice. But then there's something which is chance. So choice and chance come together. And in general, see, when any mistake happens, so if it's I who am primarily involved and somebody the other is involved. So if I am involved in the mistake, I tend to say it is chance. And if the other is involved, then it's your choice. So this way, you know. So this way, what ends up happening is that already some bad situation has come up. When the bad situation has come up, when we start feeling that, both parties start saying that, no, it was just, from my side, it was just chance that I did this, but you did it deliberately. It's choice. So then when that happens, then actually both end up acting in ways which make things worse. Both sides. So basically, we could say in choice and among choice and chance, it's more important to focus on the choice. But the problem with focusing on the choice is that it requires hard work. It requires taking a hard look at ourselves for longer than what feels comfortable. And that's why we start pushing things onto onto chance. And this can lead to problems. So we can look at it. So today's class will be a little conceptual, because this concept I will be talking about in all the future classes also. But broadly we can say that there is the element of choice in our life, which can be positive. And there's the element of chance in our life, which can also work on positive. That means, we have to invest some money. And we think a little bit, we consult some expert, we decide to invest money somewhere. And we have put in some thought in it. And then that stock rises up much, much more than what was even predicted or expected. So our choice was good and chance also worked out good. So we could say this is the best situation. Now, choice can be to work out to be negative, and chance can also work out to be negative. That means we ourselves are also hasty. Maybe we are a little inattentive while driving. Maybe look at messages or try to dictate a message while we are driving. We look off the road, and at that time, maybe a child runs across the road. We slam on the brake, but still the vehicle hits the child. So now that is unfortunate. Now it was our mistake, but what happened was far worse than what our mistake was. So we could say this is the worst situation to be in. That when the choice is also bad and the chance also works out to be bad. Now among the other two quadrants, if we consider that our choice is positive, but chance works out to be negative. Now we try to do the best that we can, but then things just fall apart. Now that's one possibility. And then the idea is that we make bad choices, but somehow the chance works out well. It's like we invest thoughtlessly in somewhere, and somehow that thing does well. So now both of these. Now among these, it depends. See, at one level, a choice, doing positive, and the chance of negative, it can be discouraging. Because we may start feeling that, what is the use of my making good choices? So somebody trying to live a very healthy life, eat regulated food, does some exercise, and still they end up getting cancer. Now, a cancer is a disease for which it's very difficult to identify a specific cause. So because the choice, then chance, this can be very discouraging. Now, if we consider chance being positive, choice being negative, this can actually be deluding. Yes. Why deluding? Because we may start thinking that, everything will work out for me. That, and there is some magical property in me that even if whatever I take, whatever I speak, whatever I do, it will all work out. And then we may become arrogant. So it's like sometimes even some person who is not a very good batsman just swings and hits, and ball contacts and goes to sixer. And he started thinking, hey, I'm a great batsman, okay. No, that's not true. So it can be deluding. Now, if we see both of these, that we make a bad choice and the chance of this can be devastating. A person can get completely shattered by it. Now, if we consider that when our choice is positive and chance also works out positive, then that can be in one sense empowering for us. Yeah, I did something, there's a multiplier effect. So in one sense that is confidence building, that is empowering, that is encouraging, that is inspiring. So we could say this is encouraging or empowering. Now of course it depends. If I made good choices and then I feel encouraged to make better choices. So it can help us to become more, if you want to keep the alliteration of D, it's a slightly unfamiliar word, discerning. Discern is to notice carefully. Discernment is the capacity of discriminating, of analyzing and deciding. So we learn to discern that I should make good choices, and then we are confident that other things will work out. So now if we consider these 4 quadrants, we start from the right bottom, then sometimes like we are now, to some extent our choice is in our control, chance is not in our control. So we could say that being in the 4th quadrant is the best. But if we can't be in the 4th quadrant, where should we try to be at least?
First part.
Yes, if not the 4th, then the 1st. So we could say it is best to be here. But if we can't be here, then slightly fainter green if I use. That is for 2nd quadrant. So now with this particular framework, life can throw us into different quadrants also. Sometimes we may make a bad choice. And if we say that the bad choice also, it could be a small bad choice, it could be a very bad choice, it could be a huge bad choice. So we'll see how situations come in our life and how we deal with them. So now we could say that of course we don't want to be in any of the other 2 quadrants. But now which is worse? Is it 4th quadrant is the worst or 3rd quadrant is the worst? Now we could say both are bad, but it depends. In the first case, in the 3rd and 4th quadrant, we'll see characters who go in phases in that character. So with this in mind, so our focus will be on how chance works in particular situations, but how choice also matters, and how we can focus on learning from other choices, especially choices of the characters in the Ramayana, how we can make better choices. So we will consider, in the case of 2 brothers, it is, who are the 2 brothers? Yes, Wali and Sugriv. Now, when we consider life, we often think that life will be linear. Like tomorrow is an extension of today. But we expect life to be linear, and in a chronological sense it is like that. But life can have crazy turns. Sometimes it can have U-turns also. So in the sense of where a particular relationship goes, where our own consciousness goes, where our behavior goes, where our finances go, where our reputations go, external as well as internal. So life does not always go linearly. Now this happens with respect to relationships also. And during the course of our relationships, we could consider, say, if we are acting in a particular relationship. So there is what we do is a matter of choice. And then some situation comes upon us, that's a matter of chance. And then based on that, certain things happen. So we'll talk about 2 incidents. We'll try to see if we get a 3rd incident. So 2 incidents in the life of Wali and Sugriv, and we'll see how they affected their particular situation, their particular relationship. Now we could say that Wali and Sugriv, in the first phase, they were best friends. They were just friends, they were allies, they were the best of friends. This happened till the cave incident. The cave incident was when there was a demon Mayavi who came to challenge Wali, And Sugriv came with Vali out. He came and challenged him in the kingdom. So even the demon had enough decency. He didn't want to attack everyone. He wanted to fight with Vali and prove that I am better. So he challenged Vali. Now Sugriv came with him because Sugriv was concerned that the demon might have some assistance and they might try to attack Vali and ambush him while he's fighting. So, but when Mayavi saw that both these are coming, he got alarmed. He thought, I cannot fight both of them. So he started running away. Now, it could be his intention was to take them into a trap or wherever. They kept chasing him. And they could have let him go, but this Mayavi had been terrorizing the nearby areas and it becoming more and more brazen. So Vali wanted to teach him a lesson. Then Mayavi kept running and then he went into an underground cave. Now Vali and Sugriv knew about that area more or less, but still these underground caves were not very well explored. So Vali said told Sugriv, you stay outside, I'll go inside. And I will find him in case this is like a circular cave and he comes out from somewhere. You can catch him over here. Sugriv told him, let us both of us go inside. He might ambush you in the dark over there. So Vali said, no, you stay over here. So now there's this first difference of opinion. Now we could say Vali is the elder brother and this is simply a matter of strategy. How to deal with a particular situation. So then Vali went inside and he was inside for a long time. So when he was inside for a long time, so we could say here in this cave incident, see, now the brothers are separated. Now is that a bad choice or is that anyone's bad choice? At this point it's difficult to say. Vali was a powerful demon and there's not that much threat to him. Now we will see that again later on when Lakshman and Ram are separated, that time again disaster befalls. And we'll talk about it.
Put it in silent.
So we will look at, so at that time also when they get separated, then some disaster befalls. We will look at what happened at that time when they're separated and how things did not escalate at that time, whereas things escalated over here. So they got separated. So here, is it a negative choice? No. Now, when Vali went inside, and then at that time, just as inside for a long time, and Sugriv started getting worried. What's happened over here? And then finally, he heard the screaming of the demon, but he heard no sound of Vali. Now, with a sinking heart, he started thinking that somehow Vali has been killed. Now, when he thought this, at that time his brain started working overtime. So if you see, when Ram went far away, then there's this demon, Maricha, who also created an illusion that Ram is in danger. When he called out, hey Lakshman, hey Sita, he called out loudly. There also something happened. So now at this particular time, Sugriv is thinking what to do. There, if we consider, there an illusion is intentionally created. So if we consider, by the way, how many of you will be there for the future sessions? Okay, I'm not pressurizing you to be there. No. Choice. Okay. No, why I'm asking this is that, we could, my original plan was to do each of these as stories. Complete one story in one session and then go to the next story. But another way to do it is that we can draw the parallels and then explore the stories in comparison. And then if we do it that way, I feel that we can get more insights. But then we won't be able to complete one story in one session. Of course, I can give a quick recap of what I had done in the previous session and next session. So even those who are not here, they can understand. How do you think we should do it?
It's a choice for me.
Okay.
I organized this by chance.
We would love to have that more insights version.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
also getting recorded, so those who miss
Yeah.
by chance.
I think choice and chance now is going to come into our language everywhere now. Okay. So we could say that when a particular situation comes in our life, a situation we could say of potential misunderstanding. Now this is largely a matter of chance. Now when we use the word chance also, I am simply using it in the sense that it's beyond our actions. It's beyond beyond what we have caused by our actions right now. Now within chance, it could be just natural, that it just happened by circumstances. It could be intentional. That means somebody brought about those circumstances. But from our perspective, it is chance. So now a situation of potential misunderstanding that comes between Vali and Sugriv, and it comes between Ram and Lakshman. So in both cases, it is the younger brother who is kept in a guard position, and the elder brother is active, goes out into the action. Now of course in this case, at that time the guard role is different, that he is guarding against a demon for the demon to escape. There Lakshman is guarding so that Sita is protected, but still the elder brother goes into the action. And at that time when this situation comes, we could say for Vali Sugriv, largely it's a natural situation that is coming. The situation of misunderstanding for Ram and Lakshman is intentionally created. So, but from their perspective, it is a matter of chance that the situation has come upon them. So now we could say that when the deer came in front and started dancing and playing in front of Sita, and Sita said, let's get this deer as a pet for ourselves. We can use the deer as a pet while we are in the forest, and then we can give it as a memento to Mother Kaushalya when we go back. So this is a matter of choice. I want this deer. Now there is a small difference of opinion between Lakshman and Ram. Lakshman and Sita primary. Ram was listening. Lakshman said, this is not a real deer. Sometimes something is too good to be true. So he says, this deer looks too attractive, and there are no other animals in the vicinity. So therefore, it's quite likely this is not a deer. This is a demon. Now at that time, Sita said, Lakshman, you are too suspicious. You have an over-suspicious mind. Now, this statement had a history. What was the history? That when Ram and Lakshman and Sita were staying in Chitrakoot, in the Namna Ramayana says Chitrakoota Driniketan Rama. So at that time, Bharat came. And when Bharat came, in order to add weight to his request, Bharat brought his entire army. It's not just my desire, we all want you to come back. But when Lakshman saw Bharat coming with the entire army, Lakshman thought, Bharat is not satisfied just sending you to exile. He has come here to kill you. And he has brought the entire army for that purpose, he said. But they will not get through beyond my arrows. They will be destroyed by my arrows. So he was very angry at that time. But then events turned out in such a way that Bharat had no intention of harming. Bharat came with complete humility, and Bharat went back with Ram's padukas on his head. So now Sita's statement that you are very suspicious, that also had some basis to it. You're too suspicious. So when Ram was listening to both of them, and Sita said, can you get this deer? Now Ram was thinking that, now I'm using the word, I'm not using Lord Ramachandra and everything, because we want to keep this story at a human level. If we bring in the Lord's omnipotence over here, then what we are trying to look at in terms of choices and chances. So once we bring in the devotional or the divine element, then we can say everything is Krishna's plan and everything is Leela. So that's why I'm not using honorifics over here. Now, so when Ram thinks that Sita has sacrificed so much for me, she didn't have to come to the forest, yet she came. And throughout these many years of the forest, despite all the inconveniences and the austerities, she's never even complained once. And it's the first time she's specifically asked me for something. Let me get it for her. So we could say that we cannot really call any of these as wrong choices. No, Sita's wanting the deer, Lakshman's questioning, and Ram's deciding to pursue the deer. At this stage, it's that neither of them can be said to be wrong choices. Like Vali is deciding to pursue Maricha, so pursue Mayavi. That's also not a wrong choice. Then Lord Ram went after the deer and he went far, far away into the forest. Vali went after Mayavi and he went far, far into the cave. And then when the situation for potential misunderstanding came, that is the time, okay, both based on the evidence, there was a possible evidence that some disaster has happened to them. Now, in this case, in the case of Sugriv, he thought that something terrible has happened to Vali. And he started thinking that if this demon is strong enough to kill Vali, then it will be very difficult for me to fight with him and defeat him. And if I am also killed, then he may go and destroy our entire kingdom, which will have no protectors at all. So I have to do something to stop him. And he decided the best way to deal with the demon is to not have to fight with him at all. To just trap him. So the cave that had been Vali's tomb will also become Mayavi's tomb. Both will be trapped over there. So now we could say that based on a situation of particular misunderstanding, so Sugriva's decision, Sugriva's action, we could say it was wrong, but it was understandably wrong. Or it is an understandable wrong. That means, okay, he did something wrong, but we can understand based on that evidence, he could have thought that. Now, in the case of Lakshman and Sita, so Lakshman didn't have any doubts. Lakshman felt that when he just was not disturbed at all, or not that he was not disturbed, he didn't feel that Ram was in danger. So he remained calm and alert to see if there is some conspiracy, the demons may attack and he has to protect Sita. So now Sita, when she heard that voice, which just seemed like Ram's voice, she became overwhelmed. See, if we consider Sita's emotions at this point, what happens? That many times two people might be physically very close to each other. But what happens? Based on so Sita and Lakshman was guarding Sita, so they were together. But as Lord Ram went far away, by the time that Maricha called out, it was like both of them were in almost different mental universes. I'll explain what different mental universes means. That they were having very different priorities and concerns. So for Lakshman, the priority was, Prabhu, you can get a chair, you can sit comfortably.
I just had to correct your mic a little. This wire is hitting the mic and sound is coming.
Okay.
Sorry.
So should I?
1 second.
So take this out?
Well, let's remove this. Sorry for that.
Quick here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No. So, for Lakshman, he already had a suspicion that this is some conspiracy. And when he heard this voice, he became clear that this is a part of some conspiracy. And his priority was protecting Sita. He did not feel at all that Ram was in any danger. His priority was that this conspiracy must be there to target Sita. That's why the whole idea is this voice is calling me to go away from Sita. Now, on the other hand, for Sita, what happened? She had initially a desire that let's have that deer. That desire was a harmless desire. Then, when sometimes we may tell someone, okay, can you go and get this from the grocery shop nearby? It's just 5 minutes away. Now, if we know that there's a storm that is going to come, and recently there's a big storm in America, it's one of the worst storms, things have been shut down completely. So now we know the storm is going to come, then we may say, okay, if you get this ingredient, I want to cook something special while we are in the storm so that we can have a nice feast and we can be happy. So then we may say, the storm is going to come, but it's going to come after 1 or 2 hours. You can just go and come back in 10 minutes. So Sita thought, it's just this deer is here, Ram will catch it. But then the deer went far away. So we asked the family member to go out, and 5 minutes becomes 10 minutes, 10 minutes becomes 30 minutes, 30 minutes starts becoming 1 hour. Then from there, it starts becoming concern. Now for Sita also, that what Lakshman had said, that maybe this is a trick. Those words, she had downplayed them, but still they were there in her mind. And now from some concern, then it started becoming fear. And when, at this particular point, when she heard this voice, that Ram is in danger, then that fear started going towards panic. If Ram is in danger, something has to be done, you have to save her. Now, Lakshman, why are you not going? And Lakshman said, see, that's not Ram's voice. Ram is in no danger. Now, Sita felt even more agitated. Sometimes what happens, we are agitated by something, and then we tell that to someone else. And if that person doesn't get agitated, we get even more agitated. So, we tell something, it's a big problem. And that person says, don't take it so seriously. How are you not taking it seriously? Isn't it, So then the problem doesn't remain as serious an issue, that you don't consider the problem a serious issue, that becomes a serious issue. So Sita's concern is Ram's safety. And when he says, Ram is in no danger, that's not Ram's voice. Sita feels, you think you can recognize Ram's voice and I can't? You think that you know my husband better than you? You know my husband, how? This is Ram's voice. And he said, no, this is a conspiracy. This is just so that I'll be drawn away from here and then you will be in danger. Ram has told me to protect you. Now this is where, now there has been a slight trace of guilt. But guilt is what? That I sent Ram into danger. I made a request and because of that Ram is in danger. And now for my sake, Ram is not getting assistance. So that guilt becomes extremely strong over there. And then in her despair, to try to get Lakshman to go, she makes a grievous accusation against him. No, she's probably never thought about it like this. Lakshman has of course never thought about it like that. She says, she tries to make sense in her anger, in her fear, in her panic. But why would he not go? Now when the mental universe is apart, what is it? I was saying here why? Because Lakshman's priority is protecting Sita. Sita's priority is helping Ram. So, Now, neither of them is a bad person. Both of them are good, even great persons. But their priority is completely different. And because of that, the choice of action which they recommend or choose becomes completely opposite. So, if I've seen sometimes conflicts across the world, say there's one place where there was a temple a temple outside the city, and then what happened? The devotees wanted to get a place inside the city, but there's one place where they were getting. This was in America. Now in the West, what happens? That Indians generally stay in fairly well-to-do localities. So they had two choices. There are two places which were both upscale, which were what is the English word? In Britain, they use the word gentrify. Gentrify means a locality starts becoming better and better. So there are two localities which were going upwards, and in both places we could have had a temple. Now, in one place we are getting a smaller land, another place we are getting a bigger land. But the place we are getting a smaller land, that was a place where the Indians were slightly more in number. But the other place also Indians were there. So devotees thought, some devotees felt that this is where Indians are, this is where we should build a temple. This is where we should buy the land. The other devotees said that, no, we will eventually need more space. If we have more space, then more people will come to the temple. And then they took the place where we had more space. And then somehow things changed, and there were some political upheavals, there were some kind of violent incidents, and all the Indians mostly went and settled in the other place. So we have a temple, and we have very few Indians in that locality. So now, what happened was both sides. That the devotees, what happens, the evidence may prove one side to be right. And then it's very easy to feel, I am right and you were wrong. But the other side was not ill-intentioned. They just had different priorities. So one priority is accessibility, which is closer, which is a place where more Indians. Other was space. Both are valid priorities. So now in this case, the conflict goes. We won't go into too much into what Sita said. But then Lakshman left. Now we could say, if we go back over here, Sugriva's action, was it wrong? Well, yes. Similarly, Lakshman's action, Lakshman leaving, was that wrong? Well, you could say slightly wrong. Now maybe he shouldn't have felt so hurt by Sita's words. Maybe he could have avoided it. So it's like, is it something similar? It is, even if we say it is wrong, it is again an understandable wrong. Now, after this, the incidents move forward. Some incidents move forward slower, some move forward faster. So then Sugriva decides, I have to deal with this. And the way he deals with it is, he blocks the cave and he blocks it in such a way, gets a huge boulder, pushes it for a long time, and then somehow he blocks it. And when he blocks it, the idea is that the cave is slightly underground, and then pushing a rock downwards into the mouth of the cave is easier. Pushing it up against gravity would be much more difficult. So he feels confident the demon will not be able to come out. And then he goes back. When he goes back to the kingdom, and then with a heavy heart, he tells everyone what has happened. They do a statewide mourning for the death of their king. And then they decide that the ministers come. They say, we need a king. And Angad is too young to be a king. And they say, you have to become the king now. And Sugriva steps on the throne. And then, after some time, when he's on the throne, one day they hear some thunderous footsteps approaching the kingdom and the court. And they hear a fierce roar. And Sugriva immediately, his heart almost stops with surprise and joy that this sounds to be Vali's voice. And Vali charges into the court and he sees Sugriva on the throne. Now when he sees Sugriva on the throne, he just explodes. From his perspective, he had killed Mayavi after a long search. And normally he would celebrate after defeating an enemy. But in this case, it had been a long and tiring search. So he had chosen not to roar in victory. And the demon, while trying to escape, had screamed. But then when he came back, he saw that this is completely blocked. He called out for Sugriv. There was no response. He tried to push, it was impossible to push. And he wondered, had something happened to Sugriv? Had somebody killed Sugriv? What had happened? He started examining the cave. It seemed impossible that such a rock could have so properly fallen close by natural means. And then as he was inside, he was hungry, he was tired, he was puzzled. Then from that puzzlement, slowly suspicion started happening. Could this have been put intentionally by someone? Who could it be? Somehow after great effort inside the cave, he found some food, he got some energy. Somehow, after a lot of effort, he managed to push the boulder aside and he came out. When he came out, he saw no signs of any scuffle. Now, of course, if there had been any fight, the signs would also have gone off. No footprints or anything would remain for so many days. So he came back to the kingdom. Now that suspicion was there. Might Sugriv have done all this? He didn't want to believe it. So Sugriv was after all his brother. But when he saw Sugriv sitting on the throne, it was his worst suspicion confirmed. He just could not control himself. And he charged towards Sugriv to start beating him. Now Sugriv was delighted to see his brother alive. But immediately he understood what Sugriv was thinking. So what Wali was thinking. And he tried to dodge Wali's blows and he tried to explain the situation to him. But Wali was enraged. And in that rage he kept beating Sugriv, And Sugriv knew about Wali's temper. So he felt that better, let me live on, let me run away. When Wali's temper is cooled down, then I'll come and talk with him. And I'll explain the situation to him. So Sugriv fled. Now when Sugriv fled, that fleeing away for Wali confirmed, if you are not guilty, why would you run away? And now Wali could have chased Sugriv. But Wali was so tired, Wali was already exhausted. Just let him go. So this was the encounter where we could say this whole circumstance coming was chance. And then Wali coming across that situation. Now, is Wali's suspecting Sugriv wrong? Well, again, if it's wrong, it's understandable wrong. Even if it is, he gets angry with him, he beats him up. That is also understandable. Now, if you go back to the incident where Lakshman finally leaves Sita and goes, and he tries to follow the direction where Ram has gone, and there's some footmarks, there's some indications. He's going in that direction, he's running as fast as he can. And one part of him is still fearful. Am I doing the right thing? Maybe I should try to get to Ram as quickly as possible, and if I find Ram, will come back quickly. Now, he tells Sita, you don't know what you are speaking. But the words you are speaking, I cannot bear them anymore. So I'm leaving. Now, in the later retellings of the Ramayana, it is described that he forms a Lakshman Rekha to protect Sita. And then Ravan has to get Sita to come out of that. So neither whatever he does, he leaves Sita alone. And then when Lakshman and Ram meet in the forest, and Lakshman charging out hears some sound of somebody powerful coming from the other side. He just hides behind a patch of grass and is charging from the other side. He sees Ram. And seeing Ram, he jumps out and is delighted to see Ram. Relieved. Now he is relieved, he is freed from anxiety on seeing Ram, but on seeing him, Ram is filled with anxiety. Why are you here? What happened? So this emotion is also similar. Sugriv is delighted to see Vali, but Vali is agitated to see Sugriv. Not just to see Sugriv, but where Sugriv is. He's on the throne. Like that Ram is agitated to see, why are you here? Why are you not with Sita? So in this case, both of them, they get upset. But then, now Lakshman has to explain that, what happened? Why are you here? They both start turning and running. While running, they're talking. And Lakshman doesn't even know how to put words to what Sita spoke. Somehow he speaks it. And then Lakshman gets the same experience that Sita had. That, he feels extremely hurt by what Sita has spoken. And Ram says, she was just caught in emotions. Why did you take her words so seriously? So Lakshman, these are serious words. How can you not take them seriously? So the exact same situation comes. But both of them just come running back. At that time, they have a higher priority. And okay, our misunderstanding is there. No, Lakshman could have, when they come back and they find Sita is gone, both are alarmed. Now at this point, Ram could have blamed Lakshman. I told you to stay here. Why did you go? Now Lakshman could have blamed Sita. Lakshman could have blamed Ram. Say, I told you that deer was a demon. Why did you go after the deer? Isn't it? Now Lakshman could have blamed Sita. He could have said, why did she have to speak words like this? I only wanted to protect her. So they could just gone on blaming each other. But they did not. Lakshman, okay, what she spoke was terrible, but still, Lakshman immediately realized that there is a bigger priority over here. Sita's safety is a far bigger priority. Now, here, Lakshman feels terribly insulted, but his sense of duty, his sense of responsibility comes up. Immediately he says that, yes, what can we do to protect Sita? So they both join forces, and then they go out in search for Sita. Now in the case of Vali and Sugriva, now here it's also Lakshman's sense of duty comes in. You can compare another situation, we'll talk about Lakshman later, that see, Lakshman is insulted, grievously accused by Sita, and we have in the Mahabharata, Draupadi laughs at Duryodhana in the Maya Sabha. When he falls, now in movie retelling they say she said, Andhe ka beta andha. She never said that in the Mahabharata originally, but she did still laugh at him. Now what Duryodhana did was, he dishonored her horribly because of that. So Lakshman, what Draupadi did in one sense was far lesser. And she was not accusing him or anything, she was just laughing at him. What Sita did was far more severe. But Lakshman had that sense of duty, that she is our family, she is my family, I have to protect her. But for Duryodhana, she is my rival's wife, and she laughed at me, I will destroy them all. That's a demoniac psychology. But the point is that with Duryodhana he is a demon, and demons will do demoniac things. But then with respect to Vali, what starts happening? See, till this point, we could say that both Sugriv and Vali, both of them misunderstood. Sugriv misunderstood that Vali had been killed, and Vali misunderstood that Sugriv had overthrown him. Sugriv had conspired against him. Now, while both had misunderstood, there is a big difference. So we could say that in both these misunderstandings, the first, the cave, and then the court. In both misunderstandings, we could say that there is choice and chance. So in both of them, we could say it is largely chance. Because the chance was 90%, choice was 10%. So that the circumstances were such that both could have understandably got that misunderstanding. Similarly, with respect to Sita also, it was an understandable misunderstanding. The accusation was terrible, but whole thing was nobody was intentional. Nobody really made a terrible choice intentionally. But then what happens hereafter? When Sugriva has run away, Vali reoccupies the throne. And this is where things start going wrong. So there is confidence and there is arrogance. So arrogance, we can say, is overconfidence. Now every person in a position of leadership needs to have a sense of confidence in their own judgment, that this is the situation and this is what is going to happen in this situation, this is what should be done in that situation. If a person doesn't have confidence, then they'll never be able to take any decisions. And they will become paralyzed, they will paralyze others also. So we could say the other extreme would be diffidence, complete low confidence. So it's like somebody asks a question after a class, and we need to have confidence that I know the answer. But if maybe the answer I know is not correct, maybe the answer I know will be challenged by someone, maybe I'll speak a wrong word, maybe I'll speak a wrong point, and then person becomes paralyzed and doesn't speak only. That's not good. But suppose we give an answer and then somebody raises a valid objection to that answer. Maybe we got a verse wrong, we got a point wrong. Then we should be ready to listen to them. So how does confidence become arrogance? Or when does confidence become arrogance? That is what, this is what happens with Vali, and that is what we will try to discuss. This will be the last part of the session. We'll see how much we can discuss today. But broadly speaking, if I am here and there is a particular situation, now I observe it and I make some assessment of that situation. So I make a judgment. What has happened over here? Now the judgment could be right, the judgment could be wrong. We have made some observation and we have made some judgment based on that. So now we need to have some level of confidence in our judgment. Without that we can't act as I said. But then there are 3 levels at which the confidence becomes overconfidence and arrogance. One is that, okay, I am looking at the situation, others are also looking at the situation. So when others look at the situation, I just don't care for others' opinions. So basically we could say that this journey from confidence to overconfidence. See, when we interact with the world, how should I put it? Okay, this is okay. Another way to put it. See, there's the soul, there's the mind, there's the body. So there is some situation in the outer world. We take that situation in through our jnana indriyas. And then we reason about that situation with our mind. So we can say at the level of the mind, there is this analysis, there is reasoning, there is imagination, that we think what might have happened. And then after that, there is this basically action. Action is at the level of the karmendriyas. So we can say that in science you have this pie diagram. So pie is 3 things in self-control or self-discipline. First is perception. So that dhyato vishayan pumsaha, that dhyato is perception. It's not just seeing. Seeing would be drishyato. Dhyato is we contemplate on it. Now when that perception happens, the next thing is imagination. So it's like somebody, tomorrow is Ekadashi. Now on Ekadashi we might see a delicious non-Ekadashi sweet. And when we see it, seeing it doesn't agitate us. But when the mind starts imagining, Oh, this would be so tasty. If only I could eat this. Then as the imagination starts growing, that's when the agitation starts growing. And then with the karmendriya there is execution. So generally speaking, discipline or self-control can be at the level of, we create a boundary at the level of perception that we don't take in certain situations. This is what, for example, Krishna talks about in 2.58. Yada samharte chayam kurmo angani sarvasha. So a tortoise withdraws its limbs. So like a bura mat dekho. That's like that. So that's withdrawing our limbs. Now here, at the level of imagination, now if the idle mind is the devil's workshop, as we say. So if we don't let our mind imagine other things, worry about other things, fantasize about other things, we focus on Krishna, focus on service to Krishna, then the mind which is redirected towards Krishna, that mind, or redirected towards, if not Krishna, at least towards the dharma, some responsible thing, that mind won't imagine too much. Then, so this is where, for example, param drishtva nivardhati, Krishna says, right, where we give a higher focus for our mind. And then param drishtva nivardhati tani sarvani sanyam yukta asita matpara vashehi yasyendriyani tasya pragyapatishta, that 2.61. Now at the level of execution, what do we do is, that means I have seen something which has agitated me and my mind is also agitated. Like I'm feeling very angry, but at least I don't yell out of anger. I don't give into action. This is 2.67. Indriyanam icharatam yanmano anuvidhyate. Tadasya harati pragya vayur navamivambasi. So why are we talking about this right now? This might seem a very philosophical detour. But this is the three levels at which, three stages through which confidence becomes arrogance. So the first stage in the case of Vali is, what he does here is that dismissiveness. He is dismissive about everyone else's perceptions. So what happens after Sugriva has run away? The courtiers tell him, actually it is a misunderstanding. His wife Tara also tells him, actually he thought you had died and that's why he took up the kingdom. Now Sugriva has told this story, but when Vali hears this, what happens is, he starts thinking, how could any of you have believed that this ordinary demon would kill me? Don't you know my power? You are so naive, so gullible that you believed Sugriva's story. And when I am here right now, you are still believing his story. So, rather than Sugriva gaining credibility in his eyes, all of them start losing credibility in his eyes. So, it's like, there's a saying that, if you go somewhere and a fire starts, that's an accident. But if wherever you go a fire starts, then quite likely you are the cause of the fire, or at least you are contributing to the fire, isn't it? So, if one person, we have a difference of opinion, okay, that becomes circumstantial, maybe they are wrong. But if everybody is saying one thing and we alone are saying another thing, and we reject everybody else, maybe there is something wrong, maybe I could be wrong. So this dismissiveness is where it becomes a problem. That when we just don't care for others' opinions. Now, we may say that at one level, we can't keep worrying about what everyone thinks. That is true. But we have our friends, we have our well-wishers, and there are some people at least whose opinions we need to take seriously. So, he dismisses everyone else. Now, at the level of imagination, now he starts thinking that Sugriva, he's so cunning. He tricked me for so many years. And he tricked all the citizens, all the courtiers. How wicked is he? How cruel is he? So now what happens is that whenever there is anger, anger is generally hot. And with time, what happens? Anger becomes cool. You know, somebody's very hot. We said, let's not talk right now. Let's talk tomorrow or day after or something like that. Then when you cool down, we'll talk. Now that is true, but it is not the complete truth. If it goes for too long, too much time, the anger doesn't become cool. It becomes cold. So, what do you mean cold? See, in both cases, the person becomes calm. But here, when the person is calm, here that person becomes more open to reason. That person becomes more reasonable. But when they become cold, that means they just become more and more convinced that I am right and you are wrong. So at this point, that person becomes hateful. The person doesn't become calm, it becomes hateful. So I was once trying to do a mediation between two devotees. Both of them were very sincere devotees, and one was the authority, one the temple president, and the other was a junior. And this junior devotee, he had launched a whole series of complaints against the temple president, and had gone to GBC here, there, and there was a big investigation. And now the situation had come where the temple president was going to be removed. And he said that, there were some truth to his accusations, but there were like many more things. He says, so this temple president says, I thought we were so close to each other. How could you hate me so much? And this other devotee said, well, you made it very easy to hate you. You made it very easy to hate you. Now, what he meant by that was, his point was that there are so many times I came to you with some concerns, but you never listened to my concerns. Now, the temple president was thinking that, we have so many big projects to do and these small issues, I know we'll deal with them afterwards. But what happens is that sometimes, one issue is neglected, second issue is neglected, third issue is neglected. Then finally, the other person explodes. And what causes the explosion might be a small thing, but it's not just that. That's just like the straw that broke the camel's back. The explosion occurs because of 1,700 things that were unprocessed before. So for Vali, this is where he starts becoming cold. He starts thinking that Sugriv has been conspiracy minded for a long time. And so it's like the more cold we become, the more cold we assume the other person is. No, he becomes more calculating. Things Sugriv must have been so calculative and cynical and cold and cruel. And so this is where what happens? From that dismissiveness, a coldness starts coming in. So when the coldness comes in, this is where at the level of the mind. See, generally, the start of cruelty, the start of cruelty may be circumstantial. I mean, sometimes I just speak a word cruelly. It's a hurtful word, but it's only the start of cruelty. But actually, when cruelty grows, it grows only by dehumanizing the other person. Dehumanizing means there's nothing good in the other person. The other person must be evil. Otherwise, they would never have done anything like this. How could he have done something like this? So he starts becoming cold. And now that is bad enough. So he decides that I am going to, before he tries to kill me again, I will kill him first. And then, instead of having any kind of discussion with Sugriv, giving him any opportunity to try to clarify, he decides I'll kill him. And he starts chasing after Sugriv. And Sugriv runs and hides here and there. He goes everywhere. And nowhere he's able to hide him. And each time Vali feels that I'm just going to catch Sugriv, Sugriv somehow escapes. And through all this, Vali is getting more and more frustrated. Each time Sugriv escapes, he gets more and more angry. And then finally, Sugriv finds a safe place that is just outside Wali's kingdom. And that is what infuriates him even more. That he's so close and he's untouchable. So I was in Singapore, I gave this class, and one devotee raised his hand. He says, I said, yes. He said, this is how China feels about Taiwan. So now that happened, and what happens at this particular point? He decides that if I cannot kill Sugriv, then I will punish him in a way that will hurt him terribly. And that's when he decides to take Sugriv's wife for himself. Now, all along Sugriv's wife has been with him. Now, there are conflicts, but what happens in any conflicts? There are boundaries. And some boundaries may be transgressed, but if some boundaries are crossed, then there is no returning back from there. There's no returning back. And so in this particular time, what is the last thing that happens is from coldness comes self-righteousness. That my cause is so right that any wrong I do for it is also right. That when I start believing, he's such an evil person, that for punishing his evilness, even if I have to do evil, it's okay. I am being such a good person, or my cause is so right, and he's such a terrible person that he deserves to be punished. So this is where things just go down on a very dark pathway. So now, when Wali does this, actually when Lord Ram hears later on, the whole story when Sugriv tells, the point when Ram really gets angry is when Sugriv tells this. That now what has happened, it you could say it cuts close to nerve to Lord Ram also. Because his wife has also been abducted. And that's when Lord Ram decides that Wali will have to be punished. So it's a cold, in one sense it's a cold pastime, and we'll talk about how Lord Ram and Wali, their final encounter, what happens and how it happens. But at this point, we could say that all these three, everything that came before might have been chance, but all these three are choice. Being dismissive of others' opinions, becoming cold about the other person. That means when we become cold about other person, that means what? We basically don't care for their humanity itself. We dehumanize the other person. And then we become self-righteous, where basically even our own conscience, basic morality, we think that we don't care for it. So eventually, what happens to Wali, or what Wali does and Wali is punished, it is not because of the chance situations that came. It is because of the choices that were made. So how do we prevent this? I'll just mention this briefly, but we'll elaborate in the future session. That how do we avoid this dismissiveness for ourselves, to avoid this or to prevent this from happening? That we need to have good association. We need to have good association means we need people around us who we can listen to and be and take their opinion seriously. We'll talk about this more later. We'll contrast the situation with Kaikai and Bharat and what happens over there. Now, with respect to coldness, what is very important to prevent this coldness from coming in? It is important that we remember the humanity and the spirituality of others. That everybody is a soul like me. Everybody is going through a journey like me. That yes, everybody has a good side and a bad side. Maybe sometimes the bad side has come up more, but that does not mean they don't have any good side. So basically when we dehumanize someone, essentially we demonize them. Demonize means that you are not a human being at all. And if you are a demon, then whatever way I treat you, it is right. And with respect to self-righteousness, each one of us needs to have some non-negotiable boundaries. That this is something I am never going to do, no matter what happens. Because in trying to correct an evil, if we start doing evil, and we ourselves may become evil also. So that self-righteousness, that because my cause is so good, so I can do anything bad and I'll still remain good. That it's what are our non-negotiable boundaries? It's like, say, everybody will get angry at times. But suppose, say we live in a cultured society of devotees, and if somebody gets angry, and while becoming angry, they start using nasty swear words. That is not acceptable. That no matter how angry you get, this is a boundary you should not be crossing. Now, if you are crossing that boundary, then what could happen? Okay, you got angry in this situation. Tomorrow you are giving a class, and in the class you get angry with some audience, and you start speaking such words. Now that would be horrible, isn't it? So that there have to be some non-negotiable boundaries. So these three things, how to have the good association, how to have this humility, how to have that, see the humanity of others, and how to have non-negotiable boundaries. We'll discuss this in a future session. So I'll summarize broadly what I discussed today. I mainly talked about three things. First, I started by, so in our discussion, our first point was about the choice-chance interplay. That everything in life is a combination of choice and chance. And within that, we discussed the 4 quadrants, how all 4 of these are possible. Choice can be positive or negative. Chance can be positive or negative. And we discussed how each of these, that this is a place where it can be devastating. Here it can be deluding. We start thinking that everything is fine. Here it can be disappointing, that our choice is good and still things go wrong. And here it can be empowering. It can be, we become discerning and we feel empowered after that. So discerning in terms of our perception and improve, empowering in the sense that situations work out. So we would like to be in quadrant 1 preferably, or in quadrant 4, or in quadrant 1 preferably, if cannot be in quadrant. So then we discussed about the Vali Sugriv incident and compared with the Ram Lakshman incident. So basically we discussed how the misunderstandable situation that came by chance, that was by chance in both the cases. Now behind the chance, that could be nature, it could be plan, but broadly it was by chance. But then there was a confrontation between them, the meeting between both of them. But that is where the choice, so in the initial chance, there was practically no negative choice by anyone, no major negative choice by either of them. Then after that, when the eventual meeting happened, this is where both had positive choices. So here I am talking about Lakshman Ram, and here we are talking about Vali Sugriv. So both positive choices, and things was resolved. That thing did not become worse. Now here what happened was that the choice, again there's no negative choice initially, but then there was, like, Vali made a very bad choice, or it could not be a very bad choice, repeated bad choices. Initially the situation came, and this is where things went. It became completely aggravated, escalated. They just became unresolvable. And then how did the aggravation happen? There we discuss this principle of pi. Pi is the 3 levels at which we can protect ourselves. At the level of perception, where we don't over-rely on our own perception. Second is at the level of imagination, how we visualize, how we imagine. And at the level of execution, how we act. So at the level of perception, the 2 opposite attitudes are, we could either be dismissive, or we could be respectful. Respectful, open-minded, we consider what the other people are thinking. Now here, we could become cold and we can dehumanize the other person. Or we can remain sensitive. We can be cool or sensitive, as we said. So with time, he became cold. And That's where it becomes a problem. And here we can become self-righteous, where my cause is so right that I can do whatever it takes for it. But instead of becoming self-righteous, we remain, we maintain our morality, we remain moral, we have our non-negotiable boundaries. And then what will happen is we won't go down that dark track. So how things went down, it's at one level a tragic misunderstanding, but beyond a tragic misunderstanding, it is a series of terrible choices. So chance may put us in situations where misunderstandings occur, but misunderstandings escalate because of our choices. And if we have, say, the attitude of humility, attitude of open-mindedness, attitude of moral boundaries, then those, they won't escalate further. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So,
The previous diagram, the last diagram, you showed Wali here. So Wali became very dismissive. So is that his general nature or for a specific cause? Is he dismissive for everything happening in life? Because association means it's a general thing, and dismissiveness is specific here, right? Probably in the next class or something.
yeah, I think the two things over here. See, dismissive could be about a particular thing, but then if our choice is going to affect others also, then what do we do about it? You know, we have to consider others' opinion also. Say, if somebody wants to invest some money in some very risky shares, it's their choice. But if their family, it's their family's combined savings, and everybody says don't invest over it. They say they were dismissive. It's not going to affect us alone. It's going to affect others also. Then others' point also has to be considered. And so now we don't have directly, at least in the Valmiki Ramayana, we don't have direct information much about Vali's backstory. So whether, now he was definitely very powerful. Now was he arrogant? Certainly he was not oppressive. There's no incident like where he, like so Ravan, abducts anyone or molests anyone or wantonly kills people. So he certainly had a certain level of pride at natural in Kshatriyas, but it seems it was in this particular incident itself that he became so dismissive. This is one incident, but the incident itself was hugely consequential.
And he must have had some good association in the courtyard.
See, it's like, association is, sometimes you say association is our association is the people we live with or people we spend time with.
Yeah.
But it is association is more about our association determined by who our mind spends time with, not just who we spend time with.
Okay.
Like, so Duryodhan, he would spend some time with Bhishma, with Vidura, but his mind was mostly with Shakuni, was with Karna. So what happens is it's like he just didn't take anybody's opinion seriously.
Same thing with Wali.
Wali also, yeah. That's all dismissiveness, yes. Any other quick question?
Thank you.
We'll finish with this.
One more question. Can this say?
ఊళ్ళో మాట్లాడతాను
They translate yesterday.
ముందు ఒకటి చెప్దాం అనుకున్నాం ఈ నవ్వు చాలా బాగుందండి పసిపాపలాగా
Said your smile is like very nice, like a small child. This happened by chance.
God. I think you forgot if you're following love with chance now. Okay, thank you.
నేను ఇక్కడ అనుకోకుండా వచ్చాను, భగవంతుడు పంపాడేమో, కానీ నా లైఫ్లో ఉన్న ప్రాబ్లంకి నాకు సొల్యూషన్ దొరికింది. మీరు చెప్పినట్టు అనిపించింది, కృష్ణ చెప్పినట్టు అనిపించింది.
Very well. She lack of words, she accidentally came here by chance. But she felt that God has sent her here and she got the answer for a very important aspect of our life in today's session.
One
Thank
last
you.
question.
Happy to your service.
Anurag, yeah, one last question.
What do you think? The association with good people is by choice or by chance? By choice.
Wow.
The association with good people, is it by choice or by chance?
Starts with a chance.
Well, yes, I think getting association is often a matter of chance. Taking association is a matter of choice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, I'm sure you have many more questions. So I mean, are you all feeling Prabhuji's presence already? Very bold, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, when he got into the vehicle, the first dialogue that he told is, my potential energy is changing to kinetic energy.
I told him one part, he forgot that. I told him by his association.
But we're so excited, Prabhuji and Mataji, the next 6 days are not by chance. They are by choice of God. By choice of Sri Radha Gopi Vallabh, you can see there. Everything that is happening in our satsang is not by chance. It is by choice. Now we have a choice now. Telling Prabhuji and trying to, still a choice, I don't know how long it will take. But, we have a choice now, how much advantage you want to take of this. These 6 days will not come back in our life. But if we don't take these 6 days seriously, we'll get another life. Somehow. I'm getting affected by Prabhuji. So, point is very simple. Next 6 days, Prabhuji is going to do 4 sessions in the evening, 4 sessions in the morning. Try your best, the best possible thing to come to these sessions as much as possible in person. I know some of you can't come in person, but try to be online and try to make sure that you don't miss any of the sessions, because a lot of things Prabhuji does is he narrates session after session, he raises the bar. And there is always a relation, right? And Prabhuji told that there is a very nice way of doing it, not by secluding each one of as a separate story, but by connecting them all. I think we want him to go that way. I request you to go that
Sure,
way.
thank you.
So that way we will get maximum benefit. We will get maximum benefit when we try to connect all of them. But in this connection, if you are missing out somewhere, or you suddenly came to the, I'm telling you, you can't understand the next session, but you will not resonate, you not really appreciate what Prabhuji is saying. So please don't miss the next sessions. We just had a busiest weekend of our life. Rath Yatras was one, right, in 9 days, and last 3 days was crazy, right, in the Hare Krishna land. I know many of us are tired, so am I, but these sessions are happening to remove the tiredness and actually, encourage us more spiritually, surcharge us more. So all the topics Prabhuji is going to speak in the next 6 days. He has only chosen, means Krishna has chosen, 4 sessions in the morning to increase our spirit of service to Srila Prabhupada. Amazing. I am very looking forward to the morning session. And the evening sessions, and all the morning sessions will happen in Bhakti Center. So please come to Bhakti Center, not at 8 o'clock, by 7:45. So we are there, mentally, peacefully settled down by the time session starts. 9:30 dot it will get over. You all can go to your offices. If you are in a hurry, get a dabba, take the prasad and go. Right? Pack the prasad and go. Or you can have the prasad and go. And in the evening, we have sessions in different houses. I think tomorrow is Maharashtra Nagar, which is, I know, near, little far from here. But if you can make it, try to make it. Right? Otherwise, I'll pray to God that I should be there. Or if I'm not there, somebody has to record it and we have to post it live. I'll be there. So these are the sessions, and in between there is a weekend. And on the weekend there are special sessions. One is in Avatar, Mahimam Avatar, the dealing with obstacles. Is the topic dealing with obstacles. We all have many obstacles. So and it's Nityanand Trayadashi. Now I had a thought that can we not have the session in Avatar? They said no, let it be there, because that is from 8 to 10. And then 11 o'clock Prabhuji will be back to Bhakti Center. And I'll record the first talk when I ask Prabhuji to record it, just in case some of us can't go, because Nityanand Triyodashi will start at 10 o'clock sharp in the Bhakti Center. So some of you who go to Avatar have to rush back to Bhakti Center so that you don't miss the Abhishekam of Lord Nityanand Prabhu on that very special day. And some of us from QC here, we will have the session on Saturday. And but I'll end exactly on time because I have to rush to Bhakti Center. And it's a Nityanand Triyodashi. So we want to do as much spiritual activities as possible. So then there is session in Bhakti Center on Nityanand Triyodashi. Prabhu will speak about the glories of Lord Nityanand Prabhu and things that you would want to add from Gaudiya angle. And then Prabhuji is also going to go to Nalaganda, which is very nearby. He is going to continue another festival of Nityanand Triyodashi in the afternoon. And then Prabhuji is going to Abbott's, for an exclusive session, specifically for Radhanath Swami disciples, not for outsiders, on a book that he has written. And then on Sunday morning, Prabhuji is giving Bhagavatam class in ISKCON Abbott's temple. On Sunday afternoon, Prabhuji is giving a Preeti Vardhanam class to the entire congregation of Hyderabad in Abbott's temple. And Sunday evening, Prabhuji is coming to Bhakti Center again for our Sunday feast. And the topic is very interesting. What is it? Forgiveness versus balancing forgiveness and justice. Right? The topic itself is so interesting. I'm eagerly waiting for Sunday again. And then Monday and Tuesday, Prabhuji will continue the same series of morning Srila Prabhupada's prayers, and then evening Ramayana. So Ramayana is only going to become more and more interesting. Prabhuji, you don't want to miss this. Vali and Sugriva thought like this, right? I don't think even Vali and Sugriva I heard from somebody that Supreme Lord does this Ramayana happens, yuga after yuga. But I think after this yuga, Lord will take about something differently. Because he is now thinking how is Chaitanya Charan Prabhu going to analyze this. But it's so revealing and so nourishing. Was it nourishing? Yes. There are so many things we are learning. So don't miss it. Great opportunity. We are getting great association here by his choice, not by chance. Okay. And let us try to prioritize and be here so that we are here. Right? So thank you again for coming to the house of Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha. It's a great joy for me and my wife, my mother, my whole family, my son to see devotees in the house, which is something that I've been bereft since the time that Bhakti Center opened. I don't know why you opened that. But the home programs, the warmth here, and Prabhuji coming here, very grateful. First session happening in our house, making us really fortunate. And exactly at this place, 4 days ago, Indraduni Maharaj was sitting, and he gave he allowed us to serve disciples, and we're doing a lot of activities here. So we again, this looks like 26 is really getting surcharged, and not stopping my excitement. That like next month, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is coming for 14 days. We're doing a big series of sessions on the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And then immediately after that, we have many other things going on. We have Vishwarup Prabhu coming for 7 days, exclusively for our group. On Brajakatha. So I think we all need a lot of medicine. Looks like, God knows how much treatment we need, and we are going to get it. So let us thank His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu to come, not only missing the flight, but he made sure he came and he gave the session. Yes. Right? It is really appreciable because Prabhuji literally did not have any break. He had little prasad on the way, and Prabhuji is right here without any gap. He was taking deep breaths, and we were like, start the session. So let us thank Prabhuji, 3 loud and enthusiastic. Hare Krishna. So we have prasadam now. Prasadam is here. Please on. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Try to be as early as you can. You can also come to Bhakti Center and chant. Right? Yeah. So for some of them who are fasting till noon, it's Vara Dvadashi.
Or they can get the boxes.
Yeah, you can get your boxes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Prabhupada ki jai. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu ki jai. Vali and Sugriva ki jai. I hope Premanand.